So from today on, we'd like to do a little bit of an introspection moment every week on a different topic. And we're going to choose big topics, but then we'll unravel those into smaller questions that you can answer for yourself. And by answering those small questions, you'll get some clarity about the bigger question. The first one that we really wanted to start with, because we think it is incredibly important, is this one. Why should I make time for introspection? And we'll be answering that question by also sharing our own experience, because of course we both have a lot of personal and professional experience with introspection. And we want to share that to then help you have your own introspection experience. So we're going to start with interviewing Caroline. By the way, we're both the co-founders of the Clarity Kit. And Caroline will be answering a couple of questions about why should I make time for introspection.
Yeah, shoot.
All right, Caroline. When we talk about introspection, we're actually talking about slowing down.
Mm-hmm.
Could you give a little bit of an explanation about why, or if you prefer living in the slow lane or in the fast lane in life?
Mm-hmm. That's a tough one. I would say naturally I tend to live in the fast lane. I think like many of us, I like to be busy, I like to do many things. I'm a huge FOMO victim.
Yeah.
And so at least until before COVID, my life was pretty fast. My agenda was packed every day of the week. But I must say that I discovered that living in the slow lane can be very beneficial because it makes you more aware and it makes you experience things in a different way. Whereas before I was always already with my head on the next experience, the next activity. Now I'm slowly but surely learning to enjoy also this moment, which is my biggest challenge.
Yeah.
So I would say tendency to live in a fast lane, but aspiration to live a bit in a slower lane.
Okay, so you're looking for a healthy mix.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. And so you already mentioned when you slow down, you feel like you're more in the present moment. Mm-hmm. What do you feel like it does to your mind to slow down?
I really, first of all, I have to say I really have to force myself to slow down because it's not natural. And what it does to my mind is that I love to use this metaphor. It's a snow globe metaphor.
Okay.
And it works very well for how I experience it. So the snow globe, as long as you're living in a fast lane, you're basically shaking the thing. And after a while, it's difficult to see, to even see where you're heading to or what's important. And when you slow down, what happens is that you stop shaking the globe and the snow settles. And that's when all of a sudden you get clarity and things, old problems that you've been facing to, it becomes all of a sudden much clearer what you need to do, direction where you need to go, what dilemmas you're facing. It all of a sudden becomes clear whether it's left or right. And that's not something that at least I can obtain while I'm still shaking the globe. As long as I'm active, no way I can take good decisions, for instance. So to summarize it, I think clarity of mind and clarity of mind.
That's awesome. I love that metaphor.
Yeah.
I think it's very relatable. And the snow globes are very retro.
Yeah.
So I love that idea.
Exactly.
So you say that you have more clarity, and you mentioned decision making. That's clarity is very important in decision making. So how do you make sure that you make big decisions consciously?
let me start by saying how I used to do it and
Okay.
it's changed because I think that's very relevant, especially in this context. So I actually used to take decisions very unconsciously. So actually my whole life until I turned 30 was a sequence of decisions guided by what was expected from me or what was logical to do. So it's very easy on one hand. So I must say it's very easy because you never have to think. If you're a good student, there's like 3 things you can do. If you have been studying this, then there's 4 things you can do afterwards. And so it's all based on expectations. The problem is how I experienced it, that after a while you find yourself in a position where you don't feel the situation is still your situation.
No.
So you're in a job, you don't know why you're in that job. You're in a relationship that you think, how the heck did I end up here?
You're not living your own life.
No.
That's what you're saying. Yeah.
No. And so the fact that it was easy getting there still results in a situation which is not very comfortable. And how I could describe that feeling, it was actually it was a pain, but not something acute. Should I say? It was more a lingering pain. So I knew that there was nothing to complain about because I had a great life, but I didn't feel happy somehow.
Very recognizable.
And so then at one point in time where actually the little things were accumulating, I took my first conscious decision and took time off because I felt as long as I'm in this rat race, no way I'm gonna find the answer to what my life should be. I also didn't have mental bandwidth to do that. And so I took time off, and first I gave myself the time for the snow to settle, and then after a while things became clear, and then it becomes very easy to make decisions because you're literally what I felt, I was reconnecting to myself. And for instance, there's things that become clear that you didn't expect. For instance, for me it became clear that I love organizing events, and my brain would always say, yeah, but you never studied to become an event manager. No, but I still love it. So after all, it's still wise to learn to listen to who you are and what makes you happy. And so since that moment, which is now I think 4 years ago, whenever I feel I'm again becoming a bit restless or feeling like I'm digressing from my path, I take the time. I know that's all I need. I take time alone, by myself, in silence, and then very quickly I know what to do. And it sounds silly and it sounds very easy and it's for free, but still we never tend to do it. So
that's introspection, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I used to take very unconscious decisions. Now I take conscious decisions by slowing down and introspecting and following my intuition. So that's really what I actually what it's all about. It's getting in tune in with your intuition and feeling what you need to do. And the good thing is that can go very fast.
And how do you know when you are connected with yourself and with your intuition versus when you're not? How do you know that?
For me, it's whenever you take a decision and you take a step back and you feel it doesn't make me happy or not.
Okay.
And so, for instance, if I tell myself, okay, if I take this job, imagine I'm already in this job, what feeling do I get? Sometimes it will be, wow, that's really cool, like you really get enthusiastic. And sometimes you get this very
resistance.
resistance. And I have the same with collaborations, whereas rationally I would say, ooh, on paper this is a really good collaboration. Still, sometimes I feel like, oh, I get really nervous. It already stresses me out,
Yeah.
the idea. And then it basically means that my intuition is shouting, Kelly, don't do it, don't do it.
Okay.
And then I should just listen.
Okay.
Whereas before I would ignore it, now I should listen and not do it.
Cool. And does that mean that you do introspection on a very continuous basis?
Yeah, that's the dream.
Okay.
The dream is to do it non-stop. But how I do it is I try to make time every morning. It doesn't work every day, but every morning to have a little moment by myself.
Okay.
Either I read questions that prompt me to think about things. Either I meditate. Either I do yoga, but at least one moment during the day.
Yeah.
And that I really learn to do whenever I feel I'm really going over a limit, then I have to plan a few days off and go in silence alone, ask myself questions. So it's very comforting to know that if I can do that, I know for sure that afterwards I feel better. And I know again what to do.
Cool. Very nice. So to the big question of why should I make time for introspection, if I hear this from you, I would say to find mental clarity, to make the right decisions for you, and to stay connected to who you truly are.
Yeah.
That's
absolutely.
Yeah. All right.
Absolutely.
Any closing thoughts or advice for whoever's on the other end of this video?
I think it might be a bit scary. That's what I see with many other people, that they actually know they should do it, but they're a bit scared of what will come out of it.
Yeah.
And it might also be very confronting,
Yeah.
but it's a bit like running. So you never look for. I never look forward to running, but I know that after I run, I feel very good, and so it's exactly the same. It's yesterday I heard someone saying, healthy habits is the ones you don't look forward to.
Jay Shetty.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But once you've done it, you feel better.
Yeah.
And unhealthy habits, you look forward to it, but then once you've done it, you feel worse.
Totally.
I would say introspection is a healthy habit.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, Kelly.
You're welcome. MPP?
MPP. Well done.